I have to be honest with everybody. I have no idea if I can handle this week. You are throwing 2 blinds at me, both high-proof blinds. I don't know.
You consider this a high? I guess this is kind of high proof.
Yes, it's a high 120s. Tell the good folks what's coming up on Friday, even.
We'll get to that in a second.
You're killing me, dude.
You're right. You're
killing me.
Well, that's what happens when you say, "Hey, you just got done from being sick. You were out for a couple of days, so you got a lot of work to catch up on." And I said I would handle it, and that was your first
and that
mistake.
He did. That you did. You handled it. I'll give you credit for that.
And I didn't say I handled it well, but we picked up the most recent edition of the Bookers, the 2023-04.
Sure.
It is the Storyteller's batch. Mm-hmm. I honestly know nothing about it. I know that it's a Bookers, and I think that you have that little card.
It's just a little information. It is a 7-year, 2-month-old bourbon, and it comes in just a tick under 128 proof. You okay, bro?
Yep.
128 proof. It's 127.8 proof. So pretty typical for a Booker's release. Right in that 7-year mark, and high 120 proof.
Well, I figured the 2 ideas that I had, full disclosure, are higher proof blinds. And usually we do not do blinds unless it's a Friday. But with December being a thing, we were both sick for a while, so we had to postpone the December live stream. We had to postpone our Patreon live stream. We do once a month. So now we're doing two live stream for Patreon this month, 2 regular live streams. Yeah. And then we got, like we said before, guys, we don't do scripted videos. We don't really plan our videos except for December when we have a ton of stuff going on. So we do have the rest of the month stuff planned. And we were trying to slot in the Bookers. Kurt knows I'm a Bookers fan. Kent's a Bookers fan.
Kent's a huge Bookers fan.
Him not so much. So props to you for handing over the reins for this one.
Yeah, that's all right.
But we did. I think we did single bottle reviews for the first, second, and third batch of Bookers this year, if I'm remembering correctly.
We did.
So instead of doing a single bottle review on this one, we thought we would kind of just toss another blind out and see which Bookers is the best of 2023.
Okay, I can roll with that. That'll be fine, bud.
So it is a little higher proof, and I know.
Yeah.
But Friday, it not only is it our live stream. It's going to be a tough day for you. You're losing your hair. 8 p.m. Central is going to be you're going to be our live stream. We're waxing a bunch of stuff. I don't even know what the deal is with that. And this is happening. We're not sick anymore. We got over that.
No,
so this is happening.
No, we're doing it. It's going. It's going to happen.
Oh, excuse me.
You're already thinking about that Friday blind, aren't you? I bet you are. You should.
So not only is it the live stream where you're losing your hair, it's also going to be a hazmat blind. So I figured your sinuses and whatnot, you're still trying to get over your sickness. So what better way to do that than with high proof bourbons? I thought it was a good idea. I got a buddy. He was born in 1856. He said that it was the stuff around that time was really good at helping cleaning out your sinuses, your digestive system, all that kind of stuff. So we're gonna do that.
Let's just say, I'm not looking forward to that. And he's already put the nay. I wanted to put all mine in glasses with a block of ice in each one.
No.
He gave me the big no. It's not going to happen.
So that's going to be a fun time Friday for both the video and the live stream. Make sure you check that out at 8 p.m. Let's get into
4 Bookers here, bud. And I am. And so take this video as a grain of salt for me personally, because Bookers is not my favorite line. And that's okay, though. I don't mind doing this. And, I did like the Bardstown batch, the Donahoe batch, and there's a couple older ones. I think Country Ham is one of those. Yeah. They're pretty good. So there's some out there that I do appreciate and that I did like, but not a lot.
I like the nose on this one. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, it's not bad.
It's pretty sweet.
I'm not getting a whole lot of that basic, typical nuttiness that you get.
Honestly, I'm not. I'm sorry. I know this is all Bookers. I'm not getting a whole lot of Booker identification on the nose. Maybe the palate.
Little ethanol for me. Usually for me, Booker's in that high 120 proof range. Taste every bit of that high 20 proof range, usually. So I'm getting a little bit of that on the nose.
That's pretty darn delightful. Ooh, though. On the end, there is a little bit of this bitterness. It's kind of sharp. Like, imagine a sharp cheddar cheese. It's a little bit sharp on the tail end. It's going to remind you, like, hey, this is this is a Booker.
That's 100% right. First half of the palate, I thought was actually, I was thinking in my head, This is really pretty good for Booker's for me. But in that back end of that palate, boy, it's more of a raw oak type note for me.
Yeah. It's kind of a bipolar Booker's. You gotta look. You got the front end's like real sweet. It's trying to lure you in, and then the back half is it's gonna shove you in a locker.
It just smacks you on the backside of the head.
Yep.
Is what it does.
I like it though. For me, the obtuse. That's is that a triangle? An obtuse?
Oh, baby, that's you. That's
obtrusive.
You. That is not me.
Obtrusive. It's a little bit obtrusive at the tail end with those kind of sharper notes. But the front, I am actually a pretty big fan of.
Yeah, I really kind of like the front end of that one. So that was different.
Do we need to do an Elijah Craig Booker's blind?
Are you kidding me?
Yep. No. That might have to happen.
Why?
Because I feel like for the bottles that are triannual or quadannual or whatever you want to say, I don't even know if there's a word for that. Quarterly. There you go.
Yeah.
You're a bigger fan of the Elijah Craig. That's kind of your
sure. Absolutely.
Several.
Absolutely. For sure. Well, this one's a little bit lighter on the aromas. It's hard for me to pick up.
Okay.
It's a little bit of brittly, a little bit of light brittle.
I might have mentioned this before, but if you haven't, I don't even know if it's still on Hulu. Go to, it's on Hulu, I think it's called Master Sommelier. It's a wine series. These guys train to be a master sommelier and get that certification. There's like this whole, these guys dedicate their lives to wine. And I just spit a little bit on you. I'm sorry, I saw that fly out. But one of them says it kind of tastes like a freshly cut garden hose.
He did not say that.
He did. And at the time I was watching that, this was a while back, I was like, what is this guy talking about? This kind of smells like maybe some grass clippings, maybe a little bit of a rockiness.
It is, yeah. It's definitely some lighter on the aromas, a little bit more earthy type, but not mushroomy. I'm not trying to say that. When I usually say earthy, I'm usually meaning darker, mushroomy type notes, but yeah.
I've never cut a garden hose. Now, I might go to Home Depot after this and slash a couple in the aisles and get kicked out.
I have.
I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, when you're a drywall guy and you're a taper and finisher, you always got to carry like a 4-foot chunk of hose with you.
For what?
Because you have to have
water. Are you serious?
Yes, you have to fill up buckets of water so you can mix your compounds for your seams and everything. So if you don't have, I'm sorry, but if you don't have like a 4-foot section of hose in your truck somewhere, I'm sorry, you're just not a drywall finisher. That's just the facts.
I have sat in the bucket seat as in the single digits of age, and I don't recall ever seeing a garden hose, a section of hose.
I will promise you, if you dig through my big truck, the box truck now, you will find a chunk of garden hose somewhere.
I'm gonna have to do that.
Yeah.
Do we need to do a truck tour?
It's possible. It's possible. Let's see what we got here. We're off track. Can't say it's my favorite, pal. Woo! Then that finish is not good for me.
This is very reminiscent to me. It's sour.
Yeah, it's
which honestly for Jim Beam for me personally is a little bit out of the ordinary. Okay. I usually don't get a sour. I get sour like you've said before in like a wild turkey product.
Yeah, but
it's not like this.
Sweet and sour.
Yeah,
for me, a perfect combination of.
This is like a rubbery sour. I'm laying some 1x1 rubber tiles for a gym floor in my basement. We got a little rectangular gym in there.
Yeah.
I have not gnawed on a piece that I've cut out, but it smells kind of like this taste. It's rubbery. It's kind of strange.
Not my favorite. I can promise you that. Not my favorite.
I'm gonna mark that down and make sure I go back to that. I don't know what that's about.
Yeah, I'm gonna move on. I'm not gonna take too much time with that. It depends where the rest of the flight lands.
Yeah.
On my palate, but that's out of the first two. That's clear last place so far. But let's move on to C.
I cannot get the garden hose out of my head. Can you film yourself next time you use that at a house for some to mix your mud or something?
What it's for, because if you're somewhere working, in a property, and they have a silcock outside or somewhere.
A what? Is that what it's called?
This is turning into a drywall video.
I know. I know where he's. Yes. Like a bib, a hose bib?
Yeah.
Okay, a hose bib. Let's just go that route with it, because I know you're mine, and I know you're just a devil in disguise. So don't even.
Yikes.
Don't. But a hose bib. Sometimes they're like 3 inches off, 6 inches off the ground. Depends if you're working in an older place. A lot of them anymore are 2 foot off the ground. So 2 foot off the ground, you can stick your bucket underneath, you get your bucket of water, you go in, you go back to work. Well, if they're 6 inches off the ground, you get that little 4 foot section of hose, you hook it up, you're ready to go. All right, B. Is that where we're at? B.
You guys want to see Kurt do a drywall finishing video? I'm sure we could sneak bourbon in there somewhere to keep with the theme. I could be sipping some Bookers in the background while he's taping some joints.
I'm sure my client would not want me to be sipping bourbon and finishing their project at the same time.
No, I would be doing that. You would just be drywalling.
Okay. This nose is pretty sweet though, Trent.
It is.
I kind of like this. The aromas that are coming out of this glass, I have to admit. I
I
find it to be a little bit stronger, especially of the second one. And I think it's pretty decent.
It's kind of bready, like a buttered toast, or like a buttered bread kind of thing.
Yeah, and there's some sweetness in there too.
It is. I like it.
Yeah, I like it.
It's more of like a I wouldn't say it's confectionery. It's actually kind of more caramely, which is interesting. I usually don't get that a whole lot on Bookers either.
No.
I might be rusty in my Bookers.
I do not ever seem to ever get quintessential bourbon in my verbiage, in my vocabulary. Quintessential bourbon notes in Bookers at all. And when I mean that, caramel, brown sugar, molasses, maybe a little bit of oak. To me, that's quintessential bourbon.
Honestly, C for me is like very quintessential Bookers without much else. Usually with the quintessential Bookers, you're looking at like a dark cherry or something, kind of like a darker fruit, maybe a darker earthy kind of tone. C's a little bit flat for me. It's Bookers. I can tell it's a Jim Beam product, but it's not a whole lot else in the flavor department. I like that it's sweet, but it's not like a definitive profile.
Yeah. I'm going with what you say because it's Bookers for me. Okay.
I gotta start giving these letters.
Kent would be so disappointed in me right now, right?
Oh, we should start inviting Ken up to this instead.
He should. He should be in my place, honestly, because he'd be much better at this than I would. Because he really loves Bookers. He really likes it quite a bit.
All right. Last one, letter D.
Okay. Figure it out.
Man, that's good.
Oh, that is pretty good. Mm-hmm. That's pretty good.
This is kind of marshmallowy.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you say that, like you had said that before on the Michter's Toasted Rye, and sometimes I have a hard time thinking about that, but like, this is kind of marshmallowy.
Yeah.
Kind of campfirey too. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm kind of digging this.
Yeah. The nose is really, really nice.
Definitely.
Whoops. This is going to be harder than I thought.
I did like that sip, Trenton.
That was really well balanced beam.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah. There's just something about a Booker sip for me personally. There's something in every sip here that's just a little strange to my palate. And I really can't describe it very well. It's kind of like Trent was saying, like a little bit of a sour wood note, really. I guess that's how I would explain it the best of my abilities. And it's in all of them. And the ones I don't like the most have the biggest profile of that, and the ones I like the least, the ones I like the least have the biggest profile of that sour wood. And the ones I like the most have the least of it. And I'm sure that didn't make much sense, but there's something in them that's just doesn't agree with me.
If there's any of you guys that are or guys or gals that are out there that really love Jim Beam, I know that Jim Beam is kind of like a you love it or hate it. I feel like.
Yep.
If there is like a way that you can try and describe to some other folks in the comments how you would describe bookers, like their profile, because turkey, right? You kind of say sweet and sour. You can kind of pick those notes up.
I do.
I say peanutty, but like nutty, but I don't get really a whole lot of nuttiness on any of these. It's more earthy. It's more of a rock, like a rock. Yeah. When I say rock, that doesn't sound good. Who wants to eat a rock? Probably not a whole lot of people.
Probably not.
Maybe if it's an igneous rock or another rock of some sort.
I doubt any rocks.
I'm trying to imagine No, that's an igneous cloud that produces the rains, right? Anyways. I don't know how to describe apart from like earthy, rocky. In this lineup especially, like I'm not getting a whole lot of usual beam profile.
Well, I'm gonna have to ask you what's your first one you're pushing out.
I have mine, but I'm gonna taste it one more time.
Yeah, I know.
B for me is just like it's soury and it's pretty tannic.
Yep.
And it I don't know. It's sour wood, or it's sour wood. You sprinkle a little sugar on top of a 2x4. I don't know.
Well, for me, honey, I'm gonna push out C first.
What?
And then I'm gonna push out B after that.
Oh no.
And I don't know why. Maybe just because I want to be different than Trent. How about that?
I would hope that people are different from me. There's nothing about me that you want to be. I'll tell you that right now.
To me, I don't know. To me, just see that what I tried to explain, which I probably didn't do a very good job with that sour wood note, is just more prevalent in C for me than it is in B. That's the only reason why I pushed C out first and then B. So that for me, and I'll go back, that leaves A and D for me left, Trent. So you can work on pushing out what you got next.
I'm gonna have to go through all three of these because I'm very
unsure. Lost, sorry?
Yeah.
Okay.
Honestly, there's aspects of all three of these that I like.
Maybe why this blind's a little bit easier for me because I truly don't care. I really don't. I don't have a dog in the race. I've got, I really don't care. It's Booker's. If there was one in here that I thought rivaled some of my favorites, okay, but there's not that I can tell. But you know what? We haven't tried 04. We haven't tried this. We haven't tried it.
I didn't mention that when we started.
We didn't try it. That's a fresh crack. So the last release, 04, was a fresh crack. Trent and I, neither one of us has tried that. But so far, it doesn't stand out. Nothing stands out to me as one of my favorites in the past.
All right. Since you can't switch up your things.
Yeah, that's all right.
Can you try C for me and tell me if you get any bubble gum?
My goodness. That honestly would be the last thing that I think I would find. But I will do it for you because you're special.
I sure am.
Why do you do that? Why? I mean, legit. Why would you do that?
I was trying to figure out what the heck I was just tasting, and I love that about C.
Do you? Well, good.
I love it.
You know what? There's a little bazooka bubblegum in there, but is that because he put that in my brain?
D's out for me next.
All right.
Third is what?
D for me is third. Wowza.
All right. Well, I'm gonna check my last two out real quick.
I'm kind of scared. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys. We thought about doing the 04 in just a single review. I got here and we were like, okay, well, why don't we just do the whole lineup in a blind?
Yeah.
I left the Apprentice batch at home because Kurt was nice enough to let me take the Apprentice batch home. After we concluded it, it wasn't all that good.
Nah, it's just
a little bit more disappointing.
Not up my alley.
So I thought about going home and getting it. I almost didn't, but I really wanted to give the Apprentice batch another shot because it has been, I don't know, 6 months since we tried it. 4 or 5, 6 months. So it's opened up quite a bit. So I'm interested to see where this lands.
And that's a key. That's what he said was the key there. It has time. It had time to open up here for a while too, so might have improved a little bit. While you're trying to think there, Trent, excuse me. Honey, I'm going to push out A next. So that leaves D as my winner.
A is your second?
Yes, A is my second. D is my first. And, you know, I have to be truthful. I always have to be as honest as I possibly can. None of them for me I would say is, I loved it. So, there you go.
A is second for me.
We're all over the place, aren't we?
Yeah,
on this one.
And that doesn't surprise me.
No,
that doesn't surprise me at all.
No,
C
because
C is my first. Yep.
I'm just a complete wild card when it comes to bookers. So it don't take that. You know, for those of you that love bookers, it's just one of those for me. That's just not. It's not for me. That's all. Personal palate. If it's for you, great. I hope you enjoy each and every one of them. I really do.
Wait, so your fourth is Trenton's first?
Woo! Is that again?
All right.
It's fine because it just doesn't matter.
That doesn't happen often.
No, it does not.
So here's what.
No. It's never happened.
Yeah, I don't think so.
No.
All right. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm worried right now.
I'm not.
I know you're not, but I kind of am. If first place is the Apprentice batch
for you,
for me.
Oh wow.
The first person to comment on this video, I'll let you email. If you're the first person to email slbdrinks@gmail.com, and you want to send something for me to taste, it doesn't have to be a bourbon, it doesn't have to be a whiskey, but just don't send me anything moldy. Don't send me like a nasty bologna sandwich. I don't like, don't put me in the hospital with whatever you're going to send. I will eat or drink what you send me. Wow.
What did you just say?
First.
Only if it's first. Email slbdrinks@gmail.com. But
what did you just say?
I might need to write up a contract or something.
All right. Well, since Trenton just put himself completely out there in line, my lineup really doesn't matter, honey. So we're going to go directly with Trenton's lineup today.
Okay.
And I have no idea where mine's at. So when you say Trent, just tell him where it's at for me.
Okay.
All right.
So.
Yeah. So.
Fourth place.
Yeah.
For Trenton was letter B.
Yeah.
And that was the Apprentice badge.
Oh.
And that was my first place one?
No, that was your third.
Third.
Ooh, all right.
All right. Well.
Oh, I don't have to eat anything gross. Okay.
Well, at least you got that right?
Yeah.
So that was my third, honey. The Apprentice batch. Okay.
Correct.
And
and that wasn't one of our favorites, that's for sure. When we first opened it and did the review.
And here's what I'll say, because these are just reviews, so this is our opinion. And this was kind of, I don't want to say it was super polarizing, but there were a couple folks in our Discord in the comments that said they did enjoy this.
Good.
And I'm glad.
Good. Yes, absolutely.
I love, and in this I wrote down sour and I circled it or rectangled it, I don't know. I like sour stuff, but this was a little too sour for me just in terms of like a bourbon, right? Okay. I like sours, and you've talked about Wild Turkey being sweet and sour.
Right.
So it's just a little bit different. This has opened up, I will say, quite a bit since we've got it. Okay. If you would have told me this was Apprentice batch, I wouldn't have been surprised, but I'm kind of glad to see that it's opened up as much as it has since we opened.
All right. So for you then, since this is like your thing here, for you that was not a surprise that that's in last place.
It's not, unfortunately.
Okay.
Well,
all right.
It kind of is just because we didn't try the 2023-04.
Okay.
I was hoping that they wouldn't put out something that didn't rank as high as this one, and I'm glad, but this isn't a huge surprise.
All right, honey. Move on to Trent's next one.
Third place for Trenton was letter D, and that was the Orange 101.
Charlie's batch, really?
And Kurt, that was your first.
Was it? Okay.
All right.
Well,
I'm surprised, honestly.
Really? That was down there for third for you?
Yeah.
You're surprised about that?
It's hard to tell, right? Because like this was the first bookers of the year. And I don't. You've had this. This is all sitting on your shelf. I don't have one at home.
Oh.
So this isn't something that I've revisited since. I don't think since we did that review.
And that's how much I drink Booker's because I didn't even know it was sitting on the shelf.
There you go. It's been at this line for almost about a year.
Unfortunately. So. All right, babe. What's he got now for second place?
Second place, you both agreed on.
Oh, what? What happened there?
And that was letter A, and that was the Mint 03. Wow.
Okay.
This one.
Yes.
03. Okay. Wow. All right. Well, then that leaves the Storyteller's batch.
Yeah, the brand new one. So that one we've never even tasted. Neither Trenton or I have tasted. Now, this one here is what for me too?
4-3.
Oh no.
First for Trenton.
Well, hey, and what
That
letter
was
is
C?
that?
The yellow was C.
C. All right.
Yeah, that's the one I said I had like a little bit of bubble gum, which is weird for Jim Beam, especially. Usually, I don't get any kind of candy-ish or gummy-ish notes from a C.
I hate to say this because when I get behind the camera and we do videos for you good folks out there, I always want to put my best foot forward. Always. I really do. I really try to be honest and sincere, right? And we joke around and whatever. We do, that's fun. But I have to say, I really don't care. And that's horrible, isn't it? It's just horrible. There are a couple of Bookers I like, but I really don't care what the lineup is on this one. And that's just bad on my part. It's just not one of my favorites. And please take that with a grain of salt because if it's yours, God bless you. I'm happy that you really like it. So I have to tell you, I wouldn't care if this one's first, second, third, or fourth, to tell you the truth.
Here's the difference, right? Like, the Bookers is more of, I don't know if you want to call it a series, but like when we review a Bookers, I kind of push for the Bookers because that's something that I like. When we get a wild turkey, that's something you push for to review.
Absolutely.
And that might instantiate some sort of bias a little bit.
Yeah.
But like, you're just not a big fan of Bookers, and that's fine.
No.
Like, there are some folks out there, and I know one of them, Walker. He loves turkey. He's not a big fan of much else.
Okay.
And that's just how it is. I'm not a big fan of turkey. You're a huge fan of turkey.
Yeah, and Ken, he loves Bookers.
Yeah.
He loves this stuff, so it's okay. It is what it is, but I'm happy for you because
I'm thrilled.
The scuttlebutt that's been on our Discord and everything has been saying that this particular recent release of Bookers is pretty good. So you did it in the blind and you picked it number one. So it can't be that far off the beaten path. It must be pretty good. Please don't take anything I had to say during this blind as gospel truth because it's just this flavor profile is just not for me.
And I will tell you, if we were to do this blind again tomorrow, it would probably be different.
Without question.
Because I haven't eaten today. And
I'm driving him home. That's all there is to it. It's 5 minutes away, but I'm still driving him home.
It's like 3.
All right, that's all we got for you today. We appreciate each and every one of you. As always, we ask you to please drink responsibly. See you next time right down here with Trent and me in the good old basement bourbon bar. See you later.